In 2024, in the United States, the new digital SAT is going to arrive. In 2023, it's going to arrive internationally outside the United States. And there are some updates that I promised on my Twitter account that I said I would give on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned and I'll share that information with you in this video today. So in this video, I want to share some updates on the new digital SAT exam that's coming in 2024 to the United States and in 2023 outside of the United States. So first, let's talk about the reading section. I've said in a previous video that the reading section is going to be comprised of very short passages, and there's probably going to be one question per passage. So it'll be many more passages in the reading section. Right now, there's 5 passages. Some are single passages, some are double passages, but they're long. They're long passages, and currently there's about 10 questions per passage, or per passage or double passage in each of the 5 passage sections, if you will, if you understand what I mean by that. But in the new SAT reading section, there's going to be many short passages and one question per passage. That's interesting. Now, I think it's going to be about 40 questions. For people who have taken the pilot test, they say that there's plenty of time. So this is a guess, but I think it might be, they'll give you more time per problem than what they're currently offering. So I think you'll feel less of a time pressure, but there's going to be big changes to the reading section. Now, I imagine that as far as analyzing the passages and analyzing the questions and so forth, the methods are not going to be too different. The things that I teach currently to my students will not be any different as far as approach and how to answer them and how to read it and so forth. But the format is going to be different. Now, the writing section probably is not going to change too much. It'll still be pretty much grammar based, and there's questions based on good writing principles. Okay, not very different than what's currently being offered. The math section is going to see some changes. The math section, there's not going to be a non-calculator section anymore. There's going to be one math section, and it's going to be a calculator allowed the entire time. There's the change to the entire test is that currently the entire test is about 3 hours. The new test is going to be only 2 hours. It's still going to be out of 1,600, the total, the maximum points that you can get, the maximum score, I should say. Math is going to be 800. Reading and writing will be 800 total. Now, this new test is expected to arrive in the United States on the March exam. So March 2024 is when we're expecting it to be available. This is an adaptive test that's computer only. It's digital. It's not paper-based anymore. So the significance of this is that when a student is taking the test, depending on how they answer the current problem, you'll get a different problem as your next problem. So if you get this wrong, you may still get an easier problem for the next one. If you get this one right, maybe you'll get a little bit more difficult problem for the next problem. It's adaptive. This is going to allow College Board to administer these tests even at different times throughout the day. So the testing times will be more flexible. Now, whether the school districts do that or not, I think that'd be up to the school districts, but it does allow for that because every student will have basically a different test. Even if you have 2 students side by side taking the test, if I'm working on one problem, the other person, even if they're in the same section, will probably be working on a different problem because the algorithm behind the test adapts to how you answer the current problem. And the last thing I want to say is that because it's digital, you're going to see a countdown timer on the test itself, on the screen, so that you don't have to keep staring up at the wall and try to look for where the clock is and how much time you have left. I've always told my students that when you're taking a test, you should take a watch with you so you can kind of keep track of your own time. Well, you're not really going to have to do that anymore because they're going to have the clock right on the screen. So these are some of the changes that are coming, and I'll update you further as I get updates and as we look forward to that transition. But I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.